voice, it's justice for all. In the dark where the truth is chained, lies run deep but the truth remains. We break the silence, expose the lies. Justice lives where the guilty dies. Pages written, blood in the ink. They hide in shadows but we make the link.
No more silence, no curtain call. This is the anthem, justice for all.
Justice for all, no matter the cost. Truth in the fire, no story is lost. Justice for all, the mighty, the small. We rise, we fight. Justice for all.
And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for.
We take on the darkness, stare down deceit. Murder in the headlines, justice in the beat. From cold case whispers to killers in disguise, we rip off the mask, expose all the lies. Facts like bullets reload and deliver. Truth cuts deep like a blade in a river. Corruption shakes when the mic goes live. We dig where others won't survive. Games rolling through the smoke. Truth hits hard, no time for a joke. Deceit, murder, we name every name. No restraint, no shame, just flame. Locked on the case, we investigate. Cold files heat up when we penetrate. The only source you'll ever need. 12 gauge investigate. We make them bleed. No games, no censors, just truth. Justice is loud, and we're the sound. This is 12 gauge gas to paper. Pull the trigger on the lies.
Yeah, man. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. You know, I thought I wasn't going to make it tonight, but, you know, I sucked it up and got up and did this. I don't know if my co-host is going to be up here, so until I get ready to read these documents, I guess I'll be waiting on Nina to get here. I let her know, so hopefully she's on her way. Thank you, Firefly. Thank you so much. I like to keep it fresh. You know what I mean? You gotta always keep it fresh. I don't like to get stagnant in anything that I do. And I know that you guys know that because I can kind of feel that y'all are the same way. I hope y'all had a good day. Because there's been a lot that went on today. I heard I was quite busy, so I really don't know all that went on. So somebody asked me if I was monetized, and I have to tell you guys that I'm not monetized. So anything that that you may want to give, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's really not the purpose of anything that I do on here. I forgot what document number we were on. There she is. There's Nina. Nina, I'm gonna send you the link in Discord. I mean, not Discord. To your email. So hold on a second. I am streaming to Twitch, to my Twitch as well. So maybe we'll get a different audience from Twitch. I tried to do it to my TikTok. So if any of y'all have TikTok and you'd like to stream this to your TikTok, that'd be cool. So let's see. It should be streaming to my TikTok. I don't know. I tell you, I'm still naive when it comes to a lot of this stuff because I tried to do it before and it didn't work. So buy me a coffee. I tried that too, but I don't, like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing sometimes, you know. Today, the first time that I've been on Twitch for a long time, probably about 6 months ago, but I never streamed over there. And today I thought, you know what? I need to, because I was looking at my stuff and I go, 12, you have the ability to do that. But anyways, it says that it's streaming over there, so who knows? Oh, I know when I got the Twitch. When the grub truck. The grub truck. That's when I went and got the Twitch. Because I was curious. How to watch. My Twitch is, hold on a second. I don't even know. I mean, well, Big B's back in here. Look at that. Big B's in the house. Okay, let me put this in the chat. We got a new mod tonight. Y'all look in the chat and see who the new mod is. Here is my Twitch handle. Big D, little D. There it is, right there. And we also got a warning label in the house. Isn't that something? We're doing all the good. What's going on? What's going on, warning label? I cannot hear you if you're talking. I guess I'm gonna echo Salty's sentiment as well. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm checking it out here. Oh wow. It is streaming to Twitch. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So, that is pretty damn awesome. It was supposed to be going to freaking TikTok as well, but I haven't been on my. Warning label, what's up?
Gage, we need to talk.
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm worried about you looking at your stuff and getting your Twitch.
And getting my Twitch?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Because you said, wait a minute, I got to look at my stuff. And then you said, okay, that's how I got my Twitch. If you get a
Oh,
Twitch when you look at your stuff, we need to talk.
okay.
So, how are
Yeah,
you tonight?
I'm doing awesome. I'm trying to see if I'm streaming on my TikTok. I don't even know how to go live on TikTok. So I don't even know where I'd see it. None of that. Because I set that up earlier. I don't know how to do TikTok on my phone. TikTok and me just are out of there. Hey, there's Dolphin on Twitch right there. That's pretty cool. So I put my Twitch name in there. If you guys wanna go add me on Twitch. Yeah, I'm private on Okay, so I guess Nita's gonna try to get in here. I don't know if she's gonna be able to. I think she's having some problems. And I'm just starting off slow, so here we go. Let me go ahead and there she is again. Are you having
Okay.
problems? Are you having problems?
Look, I told you in Discord that oh my gosh, y'all, I never thought I would cry over a phone. My phone crapped completely out. You know how sometimes it'll just die because it won't charge or something? And y'all, I've had this phone for like 6 years. So it has everything of my son. It has every research I've ever done as far as the Idaho 4. I mean, that phone is like my lifeline, and it went completely dark tonight. It won't turn on. It won't recognize a charger. It completely died. So I had to go and buy me a new phone. So I was trying to get it all set up so I could come up here with you.
Oh, did you get it done?
I've got it done, but I'm still crying over my phone. I'm going to go ahead, be accountable and transparent. Warning label may be needed tonight.
Okay, what's that mean?
Because I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, we ain't worried about all that. You want to stream to your show? I mean, to your channel?
Oh, yeah, let me do that too. Thank you.
Okay. We ain't worried about we ain't worried about the what comes out of your mouth. We don't censor. Oh, I wanted to say, been trying to do 20 things at once. I'm gonna do the same thing other creators are doing. Not that I'm copying, but we are in unity on this. If you are from any other chat, especially True Crime Cafe, and you come over here and you start drama, you will be taken out immediately. One person was just taken out by me because she was disrespectful to one of our subs and another chat. And that's another thing. If I ever show up in another chat and you're disrespectful to me in front of those other people, you will be banned from my channel. Or if you, I'm not trying to say you can't go and chat wherever you want, but if you're a mod and you do that to me or any of my subs, especially someone with a wrench, I mean, that shows that um, you're not really taking your position, at least on this show, seriously. So I had to do that, and it wasn't an easy decision, but I had to do it anyway. So, that's where I stand on that. But anyways,
By the way, I ditto every bit of that.
okay.
I mean, the way I look at it is we are a small enough community that pretty much we're all friends. And if we're going to be friends, we're going to be friends here and we're going to be friends elsewhere.
Right, right. Yes, I can see you, YouTube, bad actors. Thank you for being here. It's been a while. We're always happy to have people that are able to come in here, and it's awesome.
So I did a little poll for tonight and asked about 10 people like what they would like, because you asked me about the docs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the poll wants to discuss the docs that are talking about like Brian Koberger's behavior and stuff like that. I didn't know if you wanted to go in order or if you wanted to go by meat and potato or how you wanted to do it.
I want to do it by meat and potatoes. I don't want to go in order. It's getting kind of boring. What do y'all think,
Right.
chat? Do y'all want to just kind of Nina note the document so we can just kind of skip around and talk about the headline stuff? Because it is
And
getting.
to answer Texas's comment about when he plugs his charger in, it says it has water in it. That's how mine started. And what I had to do was I had to power it completely off and just keep sticking the charger in there until it's caught charge it up to 100%, and then don't take the charger out ever again. You can
Okay.
unplug it, but don't take the charger out of like the phone.
Well, YouTube bad actor says, "Can Nina see what I said about my prescription?"
Oh, wait a minute, prescriptions. Let me scroll up.
Okay. Hey, Salty, thank you for being here. Everybody that's here as well, thank you for being here. Guess who number one was?
Yes, I see that bad actor. That's funny.
Southwest Firefly was number one. Meat and
Oh my
taters.
gosh. Y'all, I want everybody to know to come join the campfire at night. We were all in the campfire until 4 o'clock this morning, and it is absolutely wonderful. It's nothing but voice chat and Gage's Discord, but we sat in there and we talked about docs. We sit in there and talked about, we got to show pictures and theories and stuff like that. So I thoroughly invite everybody to join in on the campfires.
Well, I gotta ask you, bro, who is Low 12? Who is that? I see y'all say hello to that. Is that an inside joke, or I I'm confused when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Nina, what number you want to start with tonight? Do you know the
Oh
number of
my
the document?
gosh. Dolphin, Firefly, somebody, did you say that Salty's in here? I know that they start around in the middle because the people are wanting the meat and potatoes of Koberger's behavior.
Okay.
So I know that we got to get to December 30th. And I think they're pretty much going in date order, aren't they?
Yeah, this
Or
one's going over.
or pretty much
This,
in sequence of events.
yeah, this is November 28th. So you said
Yeah, he got arrested the 29th, 30th.
Yeah, November.
Look, did you know that somebody actually asked today, do y'all see anything in these docs that mention Koberger? It was 3 days after the murders. Why would they be mentioning Koberger's name 3 days after the murders?
I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue.
Okay.
But you know
Oh,
what?
how
But you know what? That's because they don't. Oh, it goes over the Range Rover purchase. Idaho State Police. Yeah, that was there was a lot of people reading these today, I think. November
yeah, oh yeah,
19th.
oh yeah. And that's the thing about it is I know that people are getting burnt out on them because so many people are reading them, and so that's the reason I did that little poll for you tonight is to see like what people wanted to know about.
Okay, let's start with this one and then I'll keep looking for the Koberger. This is
Okay.
a receipt from Kaylee. This says, let me make it a little bigger because, I don't have my eyeballs on tonight. This says on Monday, December 19th, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Jacob Schweike conducted follow-up on a purchase made by Kaylee at the blank located in the city of Moscow. I conducted interviews with manager and server. Gonsalves purchased 2 alcoholic beverages for $11.75 while in the company of 6 to 7 other females. On Monday, December 19th, 2022, I conducted follow-up on a purchase made by Gonsalves at I would say the Corner Club, probably, in the city of Moscow on 10/22/22. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, 10 is October. All right. I conducted interviews with manager, blank blank, and server. Text me 2 photos of receipts from Gonsalves' purchase of 2 alcoholic beverages for $11.75. I received the following information from the interviews. Gonsalves arrived at the Corner Club between 8 and 8:30, along with 6 or 7 other females presumed to be. All the women ordered the same drink for the first round, a Blue Hawaii. The women were dressed nicely with good demeanors and were going to an event. Some women purchased a second drink. Gonsalves did, and each woman paid separately. Gonsalves and the women left shortly after consuming their drinks. Well, here is the tab. As you can see, this was paid with a Discover card. And there's the date, 10/22/22. Hey, Kaylee was signing like I sign. I do that at 7 Brew. I just do the little squiggly M like that. Um, so that's not a big deal, is it? Actually, it was $9.75. She paid $2 for gratuity, and there's the rest of it. A $5 drink,
What page are you on?
$2.65.
Whoa.
So this is something else that while we're looking at this, when people say that these college kids had a lot of money and things like that, I can tell you when you start your freshman year, your mailbox gets bombarded with credit card applications. And if you're not a very smart freshman, you will start filling these things out and they'll give you 500, 5,000, 300, 500. So by your junior and senior year, you're in credit card debt unless you've only gotten one credit card and you've managed to keep paying it off. And since you had a Discover card, they give high credit limits usually. They start at 5,000, I think, something like that, 3 to 5,000. So that's
Well, you
interesting to
know,
see.
Steve G actually talked about that they actually set like accounts up for the college kids to where they had money in an account, but it also built their credit too. So when they went into college, they were sort of ahead of the ball game. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So I wanted to say that to the people that are all talking about money and how these kids would have been making money in other ways.
But you know, you got to consider they talk about $107,000, but
Yeah.
then they talk about what 19 different bank accounts. And I want y'all to consider the 19 different bank accounts because Chime is a bank account, Cash App is a bank account, Venmo, uh, PayPal. So any of those kind of card to card, those are bank accounts. Then if they had credit cards, if they had any kind of school loans, if they had any kind of car loans, anything like that, those show up as bank accounts. That does not mean they had 19 checking accounts with money in them,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the financial aspect of these individuals, banks, I mean, there's so many ways that bank accounts can look like you have a lot of financial influx, but you could just
But
have
you
like,
better not mention the Coburgers bankruptcies.
yeah, that's a good point, Salty. She says they also had student loans, car loans, payment apps, and separate banks.
Right.
Yeah, four victims. That's four different bank accounts.
But oh, see,
Well, let's
I
keep going
knew.
on before you get your feathers ruffled. It said on Monday, January 6, 2023, Idaho State Police Gary Tollison, along with ISP Senior Detective Sean Proser, interviewed these people. The interview was conducted in the room. The interview was recorded with the knowledge and permission. So those individuals that believe that these interviews were not done with video or audio equipment, each one of these is done with video and audio equipment. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's that's the most important thing, that when people start saying, well, nobody we're not going to get to hear or see any of it because the body cams weren't on, or blah blah blah, all this stuff. How do people know the body cams were not on? How do people know that what they claim to know?
Can you tell me another case where we were so entitled to that kind of stuff? I don't think I've ever seen the crime scene pictures that were not blurred out of them. I mean, now you can find, I mean, you can find like the bloody scene now of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman and stuff like that. But how many years ago has that been? When the trial was going on and when it was hot and heavy in the public and everything, they blurred her neck out. They blurred, you could see how messy it was, but they still blurred it out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because and everybody's like, no, I want to see that sheath. I mean, oh yeah, let's keep reading.
Okay. It also says the interview, it was conducted, and it says This person told us he had contact with Brian Koberger because Koberger was a student seeking a criminal justice doctorate at WSU. They had met several times to discuss requirements for Koberger's doctoral studies. They also had met twice in social settings, once at a barbecue for the new students and a holiday event at the college. This person described Koberger as socially awkward around people. He did not see any other behavior that he thought was odd, but did tell us that Koberger was removed from because of the rudeness and unprofessional behavior toward the students and college professors. So, he was not removed because he was odd or creepy. He was removed because he was unprofessional. Did y'all hear that in the document?
Can you read that for the people in the back, please? Can you read it again?
It says he thought he was odd, but did tell us that Koberger was removed from the program because of his rudeness and unprofessional behavior toward other students and college professors. It was suggested
Unprofessional behavior.
it was suggested we speak to so and so about complaints others had brought against Koberger. This is and then supplement 91. I transferred the recorded interview to a compact disc and turned the disc over to MPD. So, unprofessional behavior, and they suggested that he speak to other people about complaints that others had brought against Koberger. So it wasn't just because he was creepy, it's because he was being unprofessional. So
Right.
what have we heard as far as unprofessional unprofessional behavior? What have we heard?
Well, we've heard that he stood in the doorway and basically blocked female students into an office and would not allow them to leave. We have documents saying that he followed them to their cars and made them feel uncomfortable and threatened. We know that they had a seminar for like harassment and red flags and, creepy behavior before he left, and then they had one after he left. We know that one of the teachers that didn't speak really good English, he gave her a hard time. He was confrontational. Need I go on?
No, that's good. It says on January 9th, 2023 at about 14:05 hours, ISP Detective Sean Prizer or Prosser, along with Detective Tollison, interviewed this person in connecting with her knowledge and interactions with Brian Koberger. And it just tells you where the interview was taken at in Pullman, Washington, and also present for the interview with Washington State Assistant Attorney General Adam Malcolm. Prior to the start of the interview, this person confirmed she was happy for the interview to be recorded. This recording was subsequently downloaded to a CD and provided to the MPD evidence section. This person is employed at this long sentence. She has held the position for approximately this many years. During the normal course of her duties, she regularly interacted with Koberger. This occurred during new student course orientation, course functions, and other course-related activities. Additionally, Koberger was present during an early semester student meet and greet barbecue. This position also requires she interacts with students to discuss course options and any issues students might have. This includes student interaction with faculty members and other students. As a result, she is a repository for complaints made by students. She described her initial interaction with Koberger as ordinary, noting he came across as lonely and is also from Koberger's home state of Pennsylvania, and Koberger would strike up conversations about hiking in the local area. As weeks progressed, Koberger would hang out in the hallways in her office. She described Koberger as creepy, and he would simply stand at her desk and stare at her or her coworker, at one stage blocking the coworker in her desk area. He would also follow them out to their cars at the end of the day. His continued behavior resulted from arranging this person to meet at 1700 hours after work to escort them to their cars. So let me stop right there. To be able to feel that you need to have an individual walk you out to your car, that is pretty substantial there, I would say. That this person, Koberger, would block these people in. I would say that this is more than creepy behavior. This is on the realms of um
Unlawful. Uh.
it's not normal behavior.
I mean,
It's
what is
not
it
normal
when you
behavior.
unlawfully keep somebody?
Well, you can hold them hostage. You can
Unlawful imprisonment.
yeah, but I mean, his behavior would just. I'm just
He
gonna
was
say it.
using his stature. He was using his stature, his prestige as being the above person, like the professor or whatever. He was using all of that to pretty much control them.
Well, also, they said the said complaints from faculty members, administration staff, and other students was referred to this person. These complaints reference his rude and belittling behavior toward women and his unprofessional rude dealings with, obviously, his subordinates. This resulted in a mandatory training class for all graduate students regarding behavior expectations. She said during Koberger's attendance at this class, he sat at the back with his hands behind his head, staring at the ceiling. She said in total 9 complaints had been filed against Koberger. 9 complaints. Okay, so
Right.
9 people got together and said, "We're going to go after this guy." I don't believe that
Well, of
one bit.
course,
No, not one bit.
has nothing to do with common denominator. It has to do with they just ganged up on him.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Um, so here's another one. This one starts off and says, we already know who's interviewing these people. Hey, Chad, do you really need to know who interviewed these people, or do you trust the documents on who they say is interviewing these people?
Being
Um,
it's an Idaho State Police document, I would probably say it's an Idaho State detective.
right. So I'm not going to really read the number 1 every time, but I'll probably read number 2 and number 3. So this person was employed by this capacity. She was not associated with Koberger at WSU. She met Koberger at a pool party on July 9, 2022. The pool party occurred at, we know, the Grove, located near the University of Idaho campus. When she met Koberger, they had a brief conversation about hiking interests in the area. She told Koberger she had a hiking group she could introduce him to, and the two exchanged phone numbers. She could not recall if Koberger was drinking at the pool party. Nothing in particular stood out about Koberger. Nothing. After after the homicide, this person searched her phone, remembering Koberger had sent her a text. The text was as follows: "Hey, I am pretty sure we spoke about hiking trips yesterday. I really enjoy that activity, so please let me know. Thanks." This person believed an individual named invited Koberger to the pool party. So this would be the Martinez individual. Can't think of his first name.
No, it's the
So
female.
no, Martinez is the one who invited
Oh, the
Koberger.
interviewer. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the next one. This person, I am going to start saying this again. This person is 31, white male, age 28. So I would say this is probably the Martinez guy, if I'm guessing. This person was a graduate student at working in the, I would say, criminal justice program. She was a fellow colleague of Koberger and had um, whatever to his. She was also working on a project with Koberger in a limited capacity. The project was part of the Division of Governmental Studies and Services. She had limited interaction with Koberger while working with DGSS. One interaction was on a Zoom call. The other was a follow-up question concerning the project. She first met Koberger in August in her office. Two other graduate students were present. He told her he was from Pennsylvania and he enjoyed hiking. They also spoke about his field of study, offender decision making. He was particularly interested in how emotion played a role in how offenders make decisions. So it looks like Koberger's shot or icebreaker would always be where he was from and the fact that he enjoyed hiking. This sounds like an icebreaker that he would use whenever he would be speaking with people. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. Um,
Hey, I have a question.
okay.
Have you noticed the trend of when he meets people that he questions where do you live or what kind of dog do you have and stuff like that?
Well, we haven't got there yet, but where did you get that
Uh,
at?
it's somewhere in all these things.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. So here we go. It says, I was just wanting to put that out there because that seems like something that I read more than once already. Throughout the semester, she would routinely discuss criminal justice topics with Koberger. They discussed the use of alcohol and the effects of marijuana on society. He told her he was not a drinker and did not understand why people drank. She said, okay, didn't he supposedly drink at that pub in Pennsylvania where it stated after two drinks he became a little touchy feely or whatever?
I think he drank a whole bottle of wine because I was
Oh,
like, wait a minute, is that vegan proof?
yeah. She said Koberger really liked to discuss research and he liked to dominate the conversation.
Uh,
She described him standing in the doorway and hovering. She never felt uncomfortable around him. He had a macho demeanor about him and would appear to be puffed up. Ooh, Brian. The only thing she felt was off about Koberger was his intense stare. He would intensely stare at people even when he wasn't even having a conversation with them in person. She described having a conversation with him in her office she tried to end, and he would not stop talking. She told him she was leaving because she wanted to avoid getting a parking violation. She walked out, and he continued to talk to her while she was walking to her car. She did not have any relationship with him outside of school. She could not recall seeing him much after the homicides. She was aware of an issue he had with a person named. He was perceived by female classmates as dominant and disrespectful to female instructors. At one point, he had come into her office. This person had come into her office crying because of a classroom discussion Koberger was having with her. His behavior could be described as possibly sexist. He really did not like to be interrupted. She could not relate any instances where empathy would have been used during their conversation. She did say he seemed very uptight and serious. He wanted to come off as intelligent. Her understanding was Koberger wanted to continue in academia and possibly become a professor. She did recall one other staff pulled her aside and made her aware of a possible issue with him stalking another member of the staff. An incident took place where he asked out other staff members and then followed that individual outside to her car. A report was filed with the Office of Civil Rights. The person he asked out was this person. She was shocked the homicides happened. In her hindsight, the homicide may have taken place because he had been rejected by someone. She had no knowledge of Koberger talking about the homicides. At approximately 22:22, the interview concluded. So what's interesting about this is this part right here. She did recall one other staff pulled her aside and made her aware of possible issue with him stalking another member of the staff. So, if you don't understand what we're reading right here, stalking behavior is stalking behavior. So, if you're doing it to your own people, what would keep you from doing it to other people that you're infatuated with or want to get close to? Tell me what you think, chat. Do you think that this individual had stalking tendencies? Even though we didn't hear about any stalking, that's not what we're talking about here. I'm asking a question. Do you believe he had any stalking tendencies? There's some weird names up in here tonight, but welcome everybody, whoever these individuals are. Crispy Biscuit,
Somebody said he was a horny toad.
a horny toad. Where was that statement?
I read it in your chat. I have receipts.
I say chicken biscuits. I mean, crispy biscuits.
That's okay. PKC is headed to Jack in the Box and Costco's.
Oh, there it is. Brian was one horny
Listen, you
toad.
can't
There
make
it
that
is.
shit up.
Right, right. Yeah. Yes, I believe he was a stalker. All right.
I think that
So
he had already, the girl that he met that had the hiking group, and then as he, at night when he was going up the mountain and they were coming down the mountain, I think he had already started stalking her.
we're doing well. I hope you're doing well yourself, Crispy Biscuits. That's a cool name, by the way. This person contacted Moscow homicide tip line to report she had observed
Sorry.
Koberger. She had observed, this one's going to be good. She had observed Koberger with bloody knuckles. She saw the knuckle just prior to the homicide. The hands looked really beat up, like he was hitting something. She was enrolled as a graduate student at Washington State University in the blank program. She had, I guess, courses with Koberger. She did not like Koberger, and they did not share the same focus of study. She recalled Koberger talking constantly during their criminal justice class, I guess. He would pick fights with other classmates. She described an argument where this person left the class upset. She had heard he had an incident with a female professor where Koberger disagreed with the grade he had been given. Koberger went to a male professor to complain about the grade. The female professor, they don't give us her name, she described Koberger as a weird, but he had never threatened her. In one instance, after class, Koberger and her were alone. When she was trying to leave the classroom, he blocked her exit another time, another person. She described him blocking her with his physical stance. Koberger said they should meet up sometime and talk about her professional career. She felt like he just wanted to keep the discussion going even though class was over. After the homicides, Koberger stopped bringing a cell phone to class and started bringing a laptop. She never saw Koberger using the laptop. Prior to the homicide, she noticed him always using his phone because he was very studious. She believed he would take notes on his phone. So let me ask you, chat, if you were to be a not a guessing person, but an analytical person, what would be the reason for Mr. Koberger to stop bringing his cell phone to class? Can y'all Can y'all answer that in the chat? What would be a reason for him to start bringing a laptop and quit bringing his cell phone? Even though he wasn't using the laptop, what could have happened to that damn cell phone? Can y'all tell me? I'll wait because there is a delay. Okay, I'm going to keep reading and then I'll see what y'all put. She did describe a change in his appearance after the homicides. He would normally be clean shaven and neatly dressed. After the homicides, he would come to class with facial hair and his dress would be disheveled. He also started wearing a thick blue coat he never took off during 3-hour class. The weather did not really call for a heavy coat. She described Koberger engaging regularly in classroom discussions.
So did that
After,
just say he wore a heavy coat and the weather did not call for it?
yeah,
Okay.
after the homicide, the topic was discussed during class. She thought it was odd that Koberger never participated in the discussions about the Moscow homicides. Koberger continued to engage in other discussions and appeared to be more cheerful. She did not know anything about Koberger outside of class. Koberger was always playing the devil's advocate in class. During the semester, students were required to read 4 books. The third book they were required to read was a book about DNA evidence. She recalled Koberger being heavily involved in the discussions about the book in class. Koberger was at a department bar outing at the downtown bar in Pullman, Washington. The outing occurred in October. Koberger purchased a bottle of wine and drank the entire bottle, even though he's not a drinker. She was aware of a running tally some of the female students had. The tally tracks his tardiness to female instructor-led classes versus male instructor-led classes. The tally showed he was constantly late to female instructor classes and never late to male instructor classes. She was not aware of other requesting escorts out of the building because they feared Koberger. At approximately 3:25 p.m., the interview ended. Well, let me see what the chat's saying. And we're not afraid to say it. What? Oh, stalker, surveyor, peeping Tom. Yeah. So let me ask you guys again, because I don't see an answer yet. Is there a reason in your minds that Mr. Koberger would stop bringing his cell phone to class and just bring the laptop? Give me your analytical or your best reasoning answer for that question. I have a theory on that, but I'm going to wait to see what y'all say. Anybody? Okay. I would believe that he stopped doing that because if he was to be found out, that's evidence. I believe that he probably had stuff on that phone at that point that he had yet to delete or take off. You know what I mean? So that is just there's Farah. She said BK disconnected his phone in October and November and disconnected from Wi-Fi. The dates are available in the docs. Or they could track it, maybe. Possibly. I wanted to see what y'all said. I would think that he would like be kind of paranoid that, if If they were onto him that quick, he wouldn't have his cell phone on him. So, anything that he had yet to delete off his cell phone, they wouldn't have easy access to it. So I don't know. I do not know. Good thoughts though. It says on
I
November 8th.
think I
Go
think it
ahead.
would be because he would be afraid that if he dropped it, or if he laid it down, or if he forgot it somewhere, and if somebody else picked it up and looked at it and went through it, they would say, "Oh shit," and take it to the police.
I do like that answer, Kel. To develop a pattern of not having it with them. That's a good answer. That's a great point, Nina. Marilyn says. Um, Number 3 says this person did not know anything about the homicides on November 13th. She said she did not know any of the victims, did not heard anything around town, and was only familiar with the case based on what had been released on the news. This person confirmed he lived on near the area where the homicides occurred. This person said he was at the church during the evening hours of November 12th and 22 hours following the activity night at the church. From the church, returned to his apartment where he remained until going to the center on November 13, 2022 at 1200 hours. This person was alone at his apartment. He works on computers and watches movies while at his apartment. Initially heard about the homicides at work. He did not hear or see anything unusual on November 12, 2022, near his apartment. This person seemed truly concerned about the homicides and wished he had more information. This person said he did not spend time around the Greek community. This person worked Tuesday through Fridays from 9:30 until close. He has a history degree from U of I, but has not been involved with the university recently. The audio recording of the interview has been provided to MPD to be attached to the case file under this supplement. See, so a lot of these are just interviews that could have been tips, that could have been just generalized people mentioning other people to be taken a look at. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a good thought too. Says BK's favorite movie, American Psycho, and the secretary found his notebooks, and maybe BK was afraid of somebody getting their hands on his phone and discovering things like his porn.
Does anybody know what the secretary is about?
Is that a movie?
Hello? The
Is that a movie?
Secretary is a movie, and I was just wondering if people knew what it was about.
Mm-mm.
The Secretary is about a dumpy little girl that goes to the office to get an office job. She has her frumpy hairdo and her glasses, just a frumpy girl. So she walks in, and the guy is like, woo-hoo-hoo. I forgot who the actor is. And it's a dominant, submissive movie. It's one of the best lifestyle movies that has ever been made as far as what it's really about and what lifestyle is really about. And it's one of the best ever made. So kudos to him for that being one of his favorites, because he did pick a quality movie that actually described lifestyle. But that says so much about his personality.
Well, here's the next portion of it. It says this white male, 39, he's interviewed by Detective Lyman They retrieved DNA swabs collected by the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office. The swabs were collected by pathologist Son Ricardo during the autopsy. Due to the unusual behavior leading up to his death, Ricardo and his staff felt it necessary to secure his DNA sample and provide it to MPD. I immediately transported the package swab from Spokane and delivered them to Moscow Police Department. Evidence staff on November 23, 2022. MPD staff member Kathy Macy entered the evidence into the MPD system. The photographs I took to show chain of custody have been saved to a disk and will be given to MPD for attachment to the supplement. So I'm trying to get to the part where you're talking about the prescriptions.
Get to the part that says what?
Where you're talking about the prescriptions.
Prescriptions?
Didn't you say something about Koberger's prescriptions or something?
No,
Oh, my bad.
I don't know anything about his medications.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about his prescriptions earlier.
No.
Okay.
No, I said that people wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of what people were saying about him.
Okay. I'm scanning over these and, it's really not.
Yeah, I mean, Enton read them. The thing about it is just from reading what you've read, you can tell that there's a pattern. You can tell anywhere he goes, he's awkward, he's creepy, he's stalkerish, he is, in a way, sort of, I guess, threatening in his demeanor.
Yeah. So let's take a break from the documents right quick and let's just chat for a minute.
Okay.
So, what would I know we've discussed this multitudes of times, but that word creepiness keeps being brought up. Okay,
Right.
so people don't have an understanding. It seems that an individual who is outside the lines of the norms of society, that's what it's called, the norms of society, are
Right.
viewed as different. They're viewed as, having societal norms that they're not very pertinent to. I believe that Koberger was one of these individuals.
Right.
And also, if you're really a student of true crime or any criminology or criminal justice, you do understand that there are certain patterns that people look for and their mannerisms. If you are
Right.
very domineering, if you're very controlling, if you have these traits where you make people feel uncomfortable, they're going to remember you for that. So if one of the things that people remember you about is making females feel uncomfortable or like
You
you
may be a little creepy.
a mansplaining or any of that,
You may be a little creepy.
well, you might be a lot creepy. You might have a lot of issues that are going on with you. Yeah, we just read that where they said that he acted macho. Well, acting and being are two different things, right? Do any of you
And
in the chat
that comes off even creepier when you're trying to act macho.
let me ask the chat. Do any of y'all in the chat believe that Koberger was macho? It's gonna take a minute because
Y'all keep in mind, when y'all answer this question, macho, think about him shirtless with his frail, debilitating muscles and him flexing and tell me if that's macho.
Oh my God, I had that song in my head. Macho, macho man. I wanna be a
Now,
macho
see, now think about the group that sung that. Now, you talk about an oxymoron.
Oh my
No,
God.
I guess it really wouldn't because they're singing, what it, macho, macho man. Is
Yeah.
it they want to be a macho man? I want to be a macho man. So yeah, I guess it's not.
Yeah.
I guess they would want to be a macho. I can see him flex into macho man.
I like this statement. I firmly believe BK has massive stretch marks from extreme weight loss. I bet you're right. Didn't he have a tummy
Well,
tuck?
wait a minute. I don't know about that because he had skin removal surgery.
I think I'm more macho than him, and that isn't saying much. BKC.
So I don't know. I don't know when you have skin removal surgery if that gets rid of all the stretch marks.
No, I wouldn't think so. I believe that if you have, like, this surgery, like you're saying, I would believe that there'd be, obvious scarring, wouldn't you think?
Well, I don't know because that's the reason that I mean, I've never known of a. I mean, I know men have it done because men lose weight and they have the extra skin. But most of the time with the women, when they've had the tummy tuck and all that, it's so that when they wear their bikinis and stuff like that, you don't know that they went through all that weight loss.
Right. Macho man. These documents put a lot of pieces into place. And
Low 12 said it's
I understand people want to learn, they want to know, just like I want to know. But it's a hell of a long read. You know what I mean? It's like reading a textbook
oh
in a
yeah.
week,
Do you
you know?
I mean you consider in the last week if you've read all of Moscow's and you've read all of Idaho's, you've pretty much read two novels.
Right.
And I've
You know,
read every one of Idaho's.
Low 12 said it's tough to stab with too much flab.
Yeah, buddy.
If it don't fit, you must quit. I don't know about Koberger. I really don't.
I do.
I mean, I'm saying that in a different perspective, okay? Reading all this stuff and all the what people are saying about him and then hearing it and understanding it, but at the same time wondering if maybe he wasn't so wide-eyed, would his would his behavior be viewed as overpowering? I mean, I'm not defending him, Nina, okay?
The
Not defending.
the narrowing of his eyes would not help his psychoistic behavior.
You don't think so?
Hell no. He's not autistic, he's psychoistic.
Do you think he tucked it in between his legs and flexed?
He'll be using some duct tape in prison, I guarantee you. You remember that little guy off of MASH that wore the dresses and everything? That's going to be Koberger.
Oh my goodness.
They'll be calling him BH.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm not defending the man whatsoever. I don't want people to get that impression. I'm just trying to think outside the box a little bit because I know that this generation, they get creeped out very easily. They get creeped out very easily. And I'm going to give you I'm going to give you an example. Kind of like those women when they're working out in the gyms with their cameras all set up and they got their skimpy outfits on and everything. and
Right.
a man just happened to glance. All of a sudden, he gets called out on that video as being a creeper, especially if they're older or they're not muscled up. Then that person is creepy and they felt uncomfortable in the gym. And that person did nothing but just walk by them or ask them if they were using that other machine. So, I mean, I'm just trying to show both sides. You know what I mean?
You know what? You know
I
what,
mean,
Gage?
I'm just saying as far as his behavior towards people. I'm not saying about the murder, not saying about his psyche. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying about perception. I'm
Right.
talking about perception here. I'm not talking about him being culpable or not culpable. I'm saying
Right.
perception of
I
people
don't think
sometimes.
there's I don't think there's anything he could have done to have hidden his creepiness. I think that it was a natural creepiness, and I don't think you can hide that. I don't think you can overcome it because it's just a natural creepiness. But I am going to take a minute and I'm going to address some of these dang comments that are just priceless. Number one, you're a lyrical genius at Low 12, better rapper than BK. Here's what I want to know. Do y'all think that we could mail the prisoners the lyrics to his rap song and ask them, instead of screaming through the vents, if they could rap his song for
Oh wow,
them? Number
interesting. Yeah.
two, number two. Oh my gosh, do you think BK will make a nude pinup for the sick people that think he's not guilty? Faraday, I'm
Oh
putting you
man,
in timeout for searing that in my brain. Oh my gosh.
the chat is
Walt
on one
says,
tonight. I love it. I love it. Like I
Walt
said,
says Brian was wide-eyed and got no tail.
out of the
Woo!
out of the swamp came Ernest T.
Wow.
I'm not into astrology, but I did peek at
He
BK's
should have
chart,
wore spandex. Oh my God.
and he was at
Texas, you are in timeout.
barn the way he is, and it's doom. He had the worst chart I've ever seen.
Wow. So now
Well,
we have him in spandex, shirtless,
well,
flexing
that
his no dexterity, frailing muscles, where he can't even tie his shoes or button his top button.
well, that's an inside joke for those of you that don't get it. I mean, y'all might have not been here on that live, but it's an inside joke. Rondi was sharing in the chat one night about a person in her gym that was wearing yoga pants. It was a male, and you could see his appendage through the yoga pants, and they had to ask the gentleman to leave. And they were going round and round in the chat laughing about
Well,
it.
did they ask the girls to leave if you can see their camel toes?
This isn't a discussion like that, Nina. I would just
No, I
probably
mean, that's wrong. They shouldn't have asked him to leave.
why you could see his appendage.
The thing about it is, you tell me that you can't see everything about a woman and some of the things they wear.
It's different.
How is that different?
I like watching what women have. Twig and berries. You got it. Y'all remember spandex though, right? Anyways, Koberger in a pair of spandex, Nina. Can you visualize that?
You know what? You're in timeout now.
There's a song called
Spandex, a shirtless selfie. A shirtless selfie, y'all, that he did not send to anybody.
He put a shirtless selfie in his gallery and just let it sit there. He didn't post it. He didn't send it to a friend. He didn't send it to a girl. He didn't use it for a profile pic. He didn't even troll people with it or anything like that. It just sat in his gallery. That's a
Well,
little creepy.
since we're talking about him, due to these documents and everything else that we've heard about him, do you believe that he was normal in any sense of the word?
I think that normal. No, I do. I think his biggest thing, and I think Olivia said it the best, was the worst thing that happened to him was when he realized he was not even average.
Okay. So
So to be
since we
normal,
since we like to think outside the box on this channel, I want to ask you another question,
okay.
and I'll ask the chat as well. Okay. Um, you know, there's certain ways why there's certain reasons why people kill. One's for
Right.
money, one's for love, revenge, money, revenge, jealousy,
Betrayal,
betrayal.
greed. Well, that's money.
So, if you were going to put this crime in one of those categories, where would you put it? Where would you rate it? Would you say the crime without a jealousy? Would you say the crime without a greed? Would you say the crime was financial? Or would you say the crime was just no
I would have to
category?
put
It
it.
was
I would
just
have to put it in other.
in others.
No, I mean because I don't think that it fits in any of those categories because I think, and this is just the way I believe, is as far as motive and what kind of crime it was, I think that sometimes the need and the desire to feel what it feels like to take a life and to have that godlike feeling and that adrenaline and stuff like that, I think sometimes that is as much of a motive and a reason or whatever than greed, love, lust, revenge, jealousy. I think sometimes the need to do it overpowers even those subjects.
So we have a couple people that have chimed in. Texas said jealousy. Suzanne said jealousy or envy. Those are very good thoughts. Because you know, just like we've always talked about, it's not necessarily a cut and dry reason, you know? And you've stated that you've had some research that you have him as early as 2010, I believe, where you have done research where you believe that he was already planning. And
Oh yeah,
I
I
believe
think
that. I
that
mean,
I think that when he was in his Tapatalk days and maybe a little earlier, I absolutely 100% believe that once he reached his teens, he had come to terms with what and who he was and what and who he was going to be.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm
No,
laughing
I
at the
know that.
fact.
I know that. I'm reading them
Oh,
too. Long Duck Dong and
you very pretty American girlfriend. Do you know what movie that was off of? For $15, tell me the movie Long Duck Dong comes from. Dun, 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 dun.
Porkies.
Nope. Pretty in Pink, isn't it? 16 Candles? Okay. Is it 16 candles? Oh, look at them all. 16 candles.
Oh my God, they called him Ducky.
Yeah. I thought it was Pretty in Pink. Damn. I was wrong. Yeah. But we're having a good chat tonight.
Hey,
Can
if the
murder
secretary is on YouTube, I may use your Discord and let people watch it.
well, you can do that any night you want. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean if they're interested.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink. I like Pretty in Pink better than 16 Candles. I don't know why, but that was back in the day. I like Ducky. Anyways, the more I research the serial killers, the specific ones, the more that I see the similarities. And I saw a thumbnail today that Koberger even was researching Nancy Grace. Did you see that one?
Oh my gosh, the one that got me was Tommy Lynn Sales.
No, but I
Is that
saw a
his?
thumbnail. I saw a
I
thumbnail that
know,
said
but
that.
I mean when I saw that he researched him, I mean, okay, there's serial killers and there's serial killers, okay?
Right.
Somebody like, oh, who's the guy that buried the buckets?
Keys. Israel Keys.
Israel Keys, y'all, I am not like loving a serial killer or something, but if I was ever going to base my actions off of a serial killer, to me, Israel Keys is like the king serial killer. You know what I'm saying? So
Him,
if you're
BT.
researching if you're researching him, if you're researching BTK, if you're researching Ted Bundy, okay? Now to me, people like Son of Sam and stuff like that, they were just sloppy. You know what I'm saying? And Tommy Lynn Sales. That MFer right there, that is one sick, demented individual that didn't deserve to walk 1 inch on the earth. I mean, they should have zapped him as soon as he was born. He should have been a stillborn.
But I mean, you're right. He was evil. For real. Another one was Richard Ramirez, though. I mean, people
But
don't
that's
know
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying is the people that he was researching, and I hate to say it, but like, Israel Keys is like, and this is just ranking them. I'll say Israel Keys is country club serial killer. Tommy Lynn Sales is like dregs of the society serial killer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Koberger would not even. Do you believe he would have got that big if he wouldn't have gotten caught?
No, I'm gonna send him a postcard and tell him I was sorry he never got to grow up and be a serial killer.
You think people are really gonna contact him?
Yes, yes. All they're waiting for is the only thing that is stopping people from contacting him right now is you have to put your home address. And that's, just till they can sort of squash everybody down because I guess there's so many doing it. And I'm sure that as soon as you don't have to put your home address and like prove all this stuff about you and you have more freedom of contacting him, he'll be getting letters left and right from because there's people out there. It'd be like me saying, I'm going to contact him because I think I can get him to talk. I'm never arrogant enough to think that I could get Brian Koberger to talk to me.
Well, could you believe what he said though? There's gonna be if he does talk. You, you know, could you believe what he
I think
told
that
you?
here's what I honestly do believe. If Koberger
actually ever talks. I don't think that it will ever be a sit down and tell all. You know what I'm saying? But I
Right. He
think
doesn't have that personality.
I think he would have that piecemeal of it, but I think that a female is going to have a better chance at finessing his ego and playing the part of being submissive to him and being like starstruck and, you know, stroking that ego and stuff like that. I think that a female,
No, I disagree. He doesn't.
really,
He doesn't respect females enough. He's the superior being. So how would anybody be his equal? You know what I mean? It'd have to be a man.
but think of the relationship, and I know that it was a fictional relationship. And if you think about it, and that's the reason I said I'm going to play the secretary, because if you'll think about it, Hannibal and Clarice, that was a dominant, submissive relationship.
I believe that Dr. Bricado could get him to talk.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I think that he would be intimidated by him and he would try to play him.
I think he would want to be I mean, if he was able to put him on his on his level by talking to Koberger, then Koberger would look at it as a intellectual conversation rather than an interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I don't think that you're going to get him to talk if you do it in like the formal interview type stuff. And this is just the way that, and the only way I know to describe it is the Hannibal Clarice. I think you have to go in with that kind and build that kind of relationship to where, you know, you're doing the quid pro quo or the, you know, stuff like that, to where he feels like he's running you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if any female was able to get that close, it'd be his mother. Now, if you got his mom in there,
You think Mutta could do it?
yeah,
And I am hoping, and I know that Dr. Bricado sometimes watches, I'm hoping that if somebody does get him to talk, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but I'm hoping it's not Dr. Ramsland. I'm
yeah.
hoping that it's not somebody from WSU. I'm hoping that it's not some big shot, you know, I'm hoping that it could be somebody like a Dr. Bricado.
You know, the guy from Dateline could even get him to talk. What's his name? That
The Adidas guy.
God, what's his name?
What is his name?
Matthew Perry's
Yeah,
stepdad.
Matthew Perry's stepdad.
You
See, I
know,
don't think a male could.
I do. I believe that he would be on equal footing. Yeah, Keith Morrison. You know, I believe
See,
that he would.
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
I think it's going to have to
I'm
be.
glad we disagreed on something. I'm glad finally, finally.
Yeah,
we
I
disagreed on.
think it's definitely going to have to be somebody that he can play with and that he can toy with and that he can get some enjoyment out of doing it with.
Well, I believe that he played mind judo with the instructors as well. Just because he was overpowering to the female ones, I don't believe that they still didn't pose a threat to him. I don't believe that
mean,
they were weak by any sense of the word. You know, he probably felt intimidated, and anger is of control, you know. So if you use anger to control others, then, you know, you're going to try to overpower people who you view as weaker than yourself.
Right. But okay, Ashley What's her name? Y'all know who
I'm
I'm
with
talking
you.
about. Bam
I'm
Bam.
with you, PKC. Send in Nancy Grace. I'm with that.
Nancy Grace would be too threatening to him.
You think so?
Yeah, he wouldn't give her the time of day because she would come in like a wrecking ball. I mean, and with that high pitched voice, and he would think she was screaming at him through the vents and have a nervous breakdown and make her leave.
I think Anjanette or even Ashley has the calming voice enough to get him to talk.
See, I was gonna say Ashley, but boy, she's got such contempt for him.
Yeah,
Now, if there's a guy that could, Brian Enton could.
yeah.
Because Brian Enton's got that submissive, calming. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Well, how about Jennifer Coffindaffer? I think she could get him to
No,
talk.
I think she would threaten him.
Somebody said, "How about Jewels of True Crime?" No,
He
I
would
don't.
he would stuff her in the vents.
She would be victim number 6.
Now, Messy Jesse, the garbage pail kid, I guess we could send him.
Who?
Or Sleek Willie, or No Go Dago.
Let's talk. We call him Fuego. We don't even give him the opportunity to give him that name. He don't deserve that tough name. We call him Fuego.
And Jeanette, maybe. See, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's interested in like the money part of a book. And again, I don't know that he will do a book because once he does a book, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, then he's a nobody again.
And I think that he will play it for years.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
like I
like
said,
Ann.
it's like I
I like
said
Ann Burgess.
yesterday.
Hold on, Nina. Farrah said Dr. Ann Burgess would maybe get an interview. I agree with that, but she'd also take Dr. Bricado with her, so they're a team. So
Right.
they'd probably be good.
But I've said the whole time that the people that are fighting for him, they're fighting for him for them because he's happy where he's at. He's content. He's not kicking and screaming. He's like, okay, hey, look at all them fools over there fighting for me while I lay up here in my cot going, you see me now, don't you, dude? I mean, he's not kicking and screaming. So they're fighting for a cause that didn't ask to be fought for.
Right, right. I mean, he's definitely enjoying the fame of it all. I mean, whatever fame he views as fame, he's enjoying it. People
Exactly.
have people have this idea of his demeanor as being sad, and he's not lonely anymore. Think of how many people are behind him. How would you be lonely if you're going down in infamy for killing 4
That
people? I mean, that's the sickest, more perverse way of ever getting fame that I've ever heard. But many people, they would rather have negative attention, get the same as positive attention in their brains.
and see, here's the thing about Dr. Kevorkian. I don't think Dr. Phil could do it.
I'd be like, so BK, are you a pervert? Do you like little girls? I mean, oh, sorry, that's somebody else.
See, I think whoever finally gets it with him is going to have to start out with the letters, gaining his trust, gaining that extra sentence in that letter, gaining that extra paragraph in that letter. They're going to have they're going to have patience of Job.
Yeah. Where'd
because it's
Crispy
not going to.
Biscuits go?
I don't think that it's going to be. Oh my gosh, I like this one. I think I'll just give my book to that one. Oh, but wait a minute. What do I do tomorrow?
But just like Israel Keys, he gave an interview, but he would only give a little bit at a time. He would do it on
Right.
his
Yeah.
terms.
He piecemealed it.
Yes. And these others have done the same thing. Like BTK would give so much, Zodiac would give so much, but it's almost like, okay, I'm gaining my fame through just a little bit at a time. You know what I mean?
Right. Ken Maines. Just now, he did study Ken. He did study Ken Maines, but I think he studied Ken Maines because I know I saw it. I saw it. I think he studied Ken Maines just because he respected his position of authority and his experience as far as investigation.
Okay, I'm with you on that, Farrah. I'm gonna say the same thing because they are a team. Burgess and Bricado. I vote for them as well. Who do y'all think? Put down who you think could get BK to give the best interview. And we're being
And
kind of
rule.
serious. We're being kind of serious. So BK, I would say Burgess and Bricado also. They are a team. Well, I got to do that on YouTube. Keep them talking, Nina, while I do this, please.
Okay. I think he was fixated on the military. I totally agree with that. I think I agree with Rondi about him being quiet. Oh yeah, I think right now Rondi, he's sitting in there with his wheels turning and scoping everything out and watching because it's the quiet ones that you have to worry about. And you know, I know y'all heard people talk about that he's going to get that heart check, and I think that he'll make it through the first heart check. He may make it through the second heart check, but I don't see him make it through. I don't see him being Billy Badass on the third one. And
Moving on.
Texas, that's what I was saying. That is that somebody, if somebody is going to ever get, it's going to have to be somebody that's willing to uh, invest years and build that relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's not somebody that's just going to go in there and say, okay, we're going to write a book. I don't think I think he thinks higher of himself than just being a book. Firefly says heart check. Um, a heart check. A heart check is when they pretty much see what you're made of. Now, to me, he's already had a soft heart check and he failed because if they were harassing him, and I do not think they were, but if they were harassing him and keeping him awake and doing everything that was being said, to me, that would be considered a soft heart check. And he immediately went and ratted them out. So to me, he's already failed that one. But it's basically they come in, they kick your ass, and see what you're going to do about it. When I was in Nashville jail, and I had a heart check. That's the only reason I know what it is. And I'll be honest with you. They were playing spades, and I was standing there talking to one of the girls, and little Miss Butch Dyke that thought she was everything in there she came up and grabbed me between my legs. And when she did, I slammed her head down on the table and told her she better not ever touch me again. So that was my heart check, was seeing how I was going to. It's to see how you're going to react. If you're gonna fold, if you're gonna cry, if you're gonna take it, if you're gonna run and tattle, it's how you're gonna react. Am
Can
I
you give us
correct there, Texas?
can you give us for those of us that aren't in the know, what is a butch?
A butch? Okay, well,
You said
when
butch. Exactly.
yeah, I said butch dyke. Now there's a
Okay.
butch, there's a dyke, and then there's a butch dyke. Okay,
Okay. What's
so
a butch?
you have a tomboy, which is a girl that is a little tomboy. Okay, and then
Oh, like
you
tomboy
have
charm.
yeah, that.
Okay.
But then you have a butch that they'll wear the male clothes, and that they still know that they're female and that they love females, but they play the male role. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Then you have a dyke that they think they are man, hear them roar. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, yeah.
You
See,
grow
my
fast in
best
this life, I
friend,
tell you.
my best friend would be considered a sissy lala or a foo-foo, because I used to have to pump her gas and stuff like that, because she gets her nails done. She puts saran wrap on her hands so she don't touch the hamburger meat. Thanksgiving, she cooks in heels and a dress, and so she's like a foo-foo or a sissy lala. I am
Okay.
nowhere near a foo-foo or a sissy lala. The thing I am is I can be in an 18-wheeler, get stuck in the dirt, get down there, take a 2x4 and dig you out of the dirt. But then that night I can put on a corset and a mini skirt and you can take me out on a date.
Um. Okay. So, getting back to
Kill
Mr.
Kill's like
Koberger.
intently listening.
So, Mr. Koberger, I put the poll up and I put the questionnaire up. I mean, it's hard to really get a definitive poll thing up there, but I don't know. There's a lot of people I guess could get him to talk if they had the right approach. Um, but I put my money on a lot of people, but I to believe him would be, because he could recite exactly what we know, and we wouldn't know if it was the truth or a lie because
Right,
everything's been put out there. You know what I mean?
right.
Here's another question for the chat. And I know we briefly talked about this last night around the campfire. Um, but do you believe that it is a good thing for the family to be fighting against those photos being released? And do you believe that on Thursday they're going to win in the court hearing to suppress those? Do you believe that the intention of harm done to the victims, like their memory or who they were, will outweigh the law? What do y'all think? You think the families will win the hearing on Thursday?
I think they will have to appeal.
Okay. Because we did watch that video last night. It was quite interesting. I don't
And
want to
the
watch
reason I
it
say
again. It was
that
pretty
is
long.
because Salty was so firm when we were talking about it earlier in the chat. Salty was so firm about it being like public, stuff like that, about it being
Hmm.
the law and stuff. And I don't know, did I put that video in Discord about it was something about, it was a little like 4-minute video talking about our crime scene pictures public.
I think you did. I think you did.
Yeah. And they say no, they're not.
I mean, I don't know the rationale behind having to see those. I really don't. I mean, and I'm one of those that I want to see as much as possible. I want to see, the measurements. I want to see if you're going to show the wounds where everything else covered up, but you're showing me some of the wounds, I could dig that. I could deal with that. I don't have to see Kelly's face. I don't have to see, the 50 plus stabbings, the defense marks, all that. I don't have to see all that. I can read it and I can interpret it in my brain enough to understand it. But I guess some people enjoy that gore, so I mean, more power
Now,
to it.
I do think where the problem is going to come in. I think, and if they care anything about public resolution, okay, they're going to have to figure out a way to show the sheets on the bed.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how they do that without showing whatever. But if there's never a video or a picture of that sheet on that bed, there will never be resolution.
Well, I'm pretty certain that they could do that without zooming. They could zoom in on that without showing the other two. You know what I mean?
And I guess if I had one argument, I mean, if somebody came to me and said, "You have one argument to give the parents," that would be my one argument. I don't care anything about any of the other pictures, but my argument for the families, just for because the public resolution is not just for the public. It can also simmer things down for those families. And if I was going to ask them to do one thing, it would be for all of them to get together, look at the photos, look at the videos, get with videographers and stuff like that, and say, let's do something that proves and puts this to bed.
I agree with you in so many sentiments of the words, 100%, because it does need to die. No pun intended, but the
Yeah, when
the
I said put it to bed, I was like, no pun intended.
you know the case has gone on long enough, almost 3 years, and if they did show that sheath, if they were able to show other evidence without showing the bodies, I mean, show the evidence that you found,
But
anything
then
that.
in the same breath, Gage, you get to sit there and say this too. Okay, they go to all this trouble, they agree, they do it. You know what's going to happen then? Well, y'all know it was planted.
But people are going to talk about it, just like Farrah just said. 50 years is too long to wait for anything, Elvis. You know, people still believe Tupac's alive. They believe all these people are
Hell,
still
they
alive.
believed forever that Elvis Presley was alive.
Right. I mean, at the end, you have to ask yourself, are you wanting this for the community or are you wanting this for you?
Right,
Because
exactly, exactly.
there used to be a website. I don't think it's around anymore, but that's one of the websites that I looked up first when the internet first came up. Is last pictures of the famous or something, and they had all kind of pictures of like Elvis Presley in a casket. Um, I think they had like a lot of grotesque type autopsy photos and stuff. That's where I saw the JFK photo at. And I thought to
Right.
myself, this is pretty cool. But at the same time, I didn't have that mentality that I have today. At that point, I thought, well, you know what? This is pretty cool, but I wasn't thinking about the families. I wasn't thinking about people affected by viewing these pictures. You know what I mean? It's not that um I don't know, as far as respect, I think that as a family there needs to be something for the family to be able to either have their family members' faces, covered or something where you don't know whose body is who. I mean, we would be able to figure it out, but at least you could put these people as who they were. Because in some of the other cases that I've looked at, some of the other documentaries, they show the victims. They show the
Right.
victims, they show the blood, they show all of the stuff. And I wonder what's so different in this case. I mean, if they show them, they show them. I guess I'll be like everybody else and I'll look, but I'm definitely not going to put them on live. I'm not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't care anything about seeing the victims or anything like that. I think they got really, really close with Kaylee.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, because you can see that hip.
yeah,
And if you'll notice all the way to the right, going down the side, it's blurred out, and I think that's where her head is.
yeah. There's a
So
curl. There's a
I think
curl.
they got really
Well,
close to Kaylee.
I mean, there's a curl
Right,
sticking out of the comforter. And I
right,
bet if the hell with that photo, they could have just widened it a little bit and shown the sheath in that photo.
right.
That would have been enough. That would have
And
been
I mean,
enough.
like Sleek Willie today. It was either today or yesterday that Sleek Willie was on, and he was on No Go Dago, and he was talking about that.
Fuego.
Okay, he was talking about that the pictures didn't even have the numbers and stuff like that, and I'm like, you idiot! They sit there and explain that this is a police officer taking pictures with his camera before the forensics team came, just to document we didn't touch anything, we didn't move anything, pretty much covering everybody's ass on the police force that had been in that house, saying this is how we found it, this is how you found it, and that proves that nothing was moved.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that is sensationalism,
Yeah.
sensationalism on their part, because I guess the dumber you act, the more people kind of give you sympathy. Well, he's asking great questions. That's a great question. You
Hey,
know what
does
I
anybody
mean?
know why he bought an inverter? I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
Instead of, can I see the sheath? I think it was planted.
That never will hold water for me. That never will hold water. I can question that in every sense fashion of the word, and I can see why they look at it the way they do, but it doesn't hold water.
Right.
There's so many scientific variables that go into planting evidence. And once again, like we've said in multiple other lives, why plant evidence at the crime scene? Why not plant it at his residence or on his car?
Well, you've heard me say 100 times, if I was going to frame him, it wouldn't have been with no touch DNA. I would have gone in there and got some dang plaque off of his toothbrush and some hair out of his hairbrush and skin cells out of his bathtub. I mean,
But that's assuming that you wanted to plant and frame this guy. There had to be a storyline that would add up to the framing. What storyline have they presented that added up, aka motive, to this guy? You get what I'm
Right.
saying? There's no motive. They haven't given us, there doesn't have to be, but they haven't given us a motive that
But
would
they
add up
could
to
have.
the.
But But they could have. That's what makes me so mad about it, is he pled guilty. They don't have to be politically correct anymore. When they came out and did that first interview, when Short Stuff and the other guy was up there, they should have said, "Look, he's pled guilty. In the state of Idaho, we may not can call it stalking, but I can tell you this right now. He was definitely playing with those girls. He was definitely surveilling those girls. There was definitely a reason that he attacked those girls. We may not never know the exact reason, but we can tell. I mean, they could, if they believe in their investigation, they need to stand firmly on it and stop pussyfooting around and trying to be so politically correct. He pled guilty. He's in prison. They don't have to worry about a trial and him being the accused anymore. No, he is a quadruple homicide convicted murderer with a 10-year burglary charge.
But Nina, if that happens in small town America else somewhere, you're not going to hear about it unless the national media gets a hold of it and they start
Right.
comparing it to this. If it's a copycat, they will compare it to this and they'll run it into the ground. But most of the times, I'm sure there's been tons of cases like this that we are not even aware of.
Oh, 100%.
And the fact that people got on this train and are going for civil rights and all this other shit, it just a propaganda train. It's just propaganda. It's just like, we got to stand with a case. This is 2022's Roe versus Wade for some reason for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I get that, because even though there are 71 court cases that have established precedent for the IGG to stand, it has never been established in Idaho. So
I
this
believe that
is the
I believe that this case was too big for MPD. I believe that it was very quickly getting too big for ISP, and that's why they called in FBI and other agencies to assist. I'm
oh,
thankful.
100%.
I'm thankful that they did, but just because it's too big for your agency does not necessarily mean that you
And
messed up
just
the case.
because mistakes were made doesn't mean that they were nefariously made.
Of course. I mean,
As long as they
there's a
take
lot of
as long
people.
as they take those mistakes and they learn from them, and God, I hope this never happens to that city again. But if they, I mean, even if it's investigating one murder, if they learn from it and everything, then that's fine. Now, if they just throw it in the back seat and forget about it, then that's on them. But the only way you make a mistake is by doing something.
And you know what else, Dana? People have said, well, people should have said something or they could have kept this from happening. We're looking at this hindsight. On a day to day basis, everybody is worried about being sued. The liability of you defaming somebody by accusing them of potentially being something that they're not. And if they can prove that in court, then there goes your reputation, there goes your career. So this professor that ended up saying, we could have given him the PhD, we could have done this and this and this. Well, it's hindsight. He may have felt that way during the time that he was with Koberger. But had he brought that out, You know how much shit he would have gotten for profiling a, s- a person in the faculty like that? How many people
Right.
are you around that you think, well, that person's a little thrown off? Do you act on it? And then that person later on, after you quit the job, comes back 3 years later and shoots up the place? You know, are you really at fault for not saying anything? No, because many of us know that there's a lot of people in this world that are unstable, but there's so much liability that if you make a false claim, they have more right than you do. Even
Oh
if later
yeah,
on,
yeah.
even if later on they're found out to be a quadruple homicide murderer, we're looking at this through hindsight. All these people that came out and said, "Hey, he was
Oh
this,
yeah,
he was that,"
we're Monday chair. We're Monday. What is it? Monday chair. What is it?
Monday morning quarterbacking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, I agree with the professor. I agree with the nine people that came out and made statements. But the fact is, you gotta be very, very mindful once again of the law. You cannot just accuse people of being a certain way if that is their behavior automatically. You have to have proof. Had he put his hands on one of them? Had he had pictures in his phone of them? I mean, then you could have, started an investigation and then, possibly stopped it. But without evidence, all it is hearsay. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Well, this has been a good one.
Yeah, it has been. Y'all ready to go to the fire pit?
Let's go to the fire pit. I hear the fire pit calling me.
Y'all in chat want to go to the fire pit?
Oh, and in chat before I even go look for the secretary, y'all let me know if y'all are even interested in it tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night. I think we start Dexter, right?
Yeah, Saturday night, hopefully.
Yeah. But if y'all are interested in the secretary, y'all just let me know in chat. Uh, if you want to do it anytime or whatever. You may not even be interested, and you're not going to hurt my feelings if you're not. And I really do. I want you to know, Gage, that I think I sent you a message on it about the campfire. I really do like the campfire.
I'm gonna change the name of it. The fire pit.
Yeah,
12 gauges fire pit.
yeah, I really do like it. I mean, even when you left, like I said, I think I left. It was about 4:30 this morning, but I think I saw where Kel and Firefly said they were there until 8 a.m.
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
Right.
that at all.
So I think that's great, and I enjoy the personability of it, if that's a word.
Yeah, yeah. If YouTube wasn't so stickler, we could have a fire pit on the channel, but we can't have that many people up there talking.
Rondi said she'd rather watch Porky's.
You know what? People's feelings would be so hurt, but we really don't talk about people. We talk about ideas. There's
Right.
different. There's a difference.
Oh yeah.
Well, if this is your first time to watch on Twitch, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you keep coming back. If you are a YouTube person, have a YouTube account, be sure to like, share, or subscribe. I currently am not monetized, so I don't have any membership, but hopefully in the near future, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but at least like and share. And
And also on that note, if you enjoy the way that Gage does his productions and you enjoy his research and how he does things, he is not monetized, but he does have his Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal and stuff like that if you do want to donate.
yeah, thank you. But you guys come on over to Fire Pit if you're a member of the Discord. If not, we hope to see you again soon. I don't know how much more of the documents I'm going to read. I'm really burnt out on it already.
Yeah, I'm about burned out on them too.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go to.
I'm
to
ready to just
another.
start doing bullet points.
Yeah, or I'm ready to hit up another case. I mean, maybe we could start up with.
Yeah, I want to do the Zizians.
Yeah, something different. You guys have a wonderful night, Nina. I'm gonna drop you down. I'll see you at the fire pit.
Thank you. Love y'all. Have a good night.
All right. And to you guys that are still here, thank you so much. I know this is an intro video, but I liked it so much, I'm going to put it as an outro. Maestro, cue that music.
The scales are heavy, the gavel will fall. Raise your voice, it's justice for all. In the dark where the truth is chained, lies run deep, but the truth remains. We break the silence, expose the lies. Justice lives where the guilty dies. Pages written, blood in the ink, they hide.